Happy Father's Day. Today I'm making a special video and I'm going to read a book that I think all little girls should read, and maybe grown women. This is a book that my dad read to me when I was very young, probably 5, maybe younger. And he read me probably the whole set that existed at the time. This book is called Little Miss Bossy. There are other ones like Little Miss Naughty, but I chose this one. And I think you guys can figure out why. Because like I said, it would be so much better if we read this to our little girls. So without further ado, I can't wait to I'm not trying to rhyme, I promise. I just can't wait to share this with you guys. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Oh, look at that. Let me edit the screen for you. Found the right screen. This is Little Miss Bossy. Okay. We are doing Kindle. I'm going to show you guys the cover. Little Miss Bossy. There she is. She's got a big old mouth. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, bless you. Bless you, my child. Look at her big mouth, just ready to tell everybody what to do. This is a spin-off from the Mr. Men books by Robert Hargraves. It's the Little Miss books. On Monday, Little Miss Bossy went for a walk. She met Mr. Nosy. "Where are you going?" he asked. "Mind your own business," she retorted. She is going to tell everybody what they're going to do. On Tuesday, she met Mr. Noisy. He was singing, noisily, of course. "Be quiet," she told him. Look how happy he is. Just comes along. Nasty. On Wednesday, she met Mr. Happy. He was smiling, as usual. "Take that silly smile off your face," she said. As you can imagine, Little Miss Bossy wasn't very popular, to say the least. Now, I will stop there to point out that that is not something that little girls would want, to not be liked by a lot of people. It's like one of the worst things ever for a little girl. And although you don't want to just do things to please the crowd, the idea of social pressure for good things is something we need to bring back. So, showing this book to little girls, it also helps because you're not saying the little girl is bossy. Little Miss Bossy is Miss Bossy. So it doesn't feel like personal criticism as much. You're seeing it over here, and then you go, "Oh, well, I don't want to be like that." So very helpful in teaching little girls. And I'm very glad it was taught to me because I can imagine that I could be bossy. No. Now, little did Miss Bossy realize, but somebody had seen her bossing Mr. Nosy around. And that same somebody had seen her bossing Mr. Noisy around. And that same somebody had seen her bossing Mr. Happy around. The wizard, whose name, incidentally, was Wilfred, went home thinking, "Something really ought to be done about Little Miss Bossy," he thought to himself as he walked along. Now, am I happy it's a wizard and we're bringing magic into it? Not really. That's a subject for another day. When he arrived home, he went straight to his library and took down a large red book from a bookshelf. It was rather dusty, as it hadn't been read for quite some time. It's almost like the book of manners, and everybody forgot it. Let's see now, he said to himself as he settled into an armchair. He turned to page 304. At the top of the page it said, "How to Stop People from Being Bossy." Wilfred the Wizard read the page very carefully, shut the book, put it back on the bookshelf, and grinned, a particularly wizardy sort of grin. The day after, which was Thursday, little Miss Bossy met somebody who was fast asleep, as usual, Mr. Lazy. "Wake up," she said bossily, and prodded him in the tummy. "Ouch," protested Mr. Lazy. But behind little Miss Bossy, Wilfred the Wizard, who had been following her, said something too, under his breath. A wizardy word he'd learned from page 304. And you know what happened? Suddenly, as if by magic, which is true, there appeared on little Miss Bossy's feet a pair of boots. 1 minute they weren't there. The next minute they were. Little Miss Bossy looked down in alarm. They were magic boots, and being magic boots, they could speak to each other. "Hello, left," said the right boot. "Hello, right," said the left boot. "Ready when you are," said right. "Right," said left. And off they went. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Faster and faster, marching poor little Miss Bossy along. I mean, it is written by an English person, and the cure for everything is to take a walk in England. At least it was back in the day. Little Miss Bossy couldn't do a thing about it. Mr. Lazy was very amused. "Well done, Wilfred," he chuckled. Wilfred winked, a wizardy wink. Those boots marched little Miss Bossy for 5 miles. She was exhausted. "Ready, left," said the right. "Ready," replied the left. 10, said right. "Shun," said left. And they came to a halt. Little Miss Bossy was quite out of breath. She tried to take off her boots, but it was impossible. Along came Wilfred. You know, she wouldn't stop bossing people, so those boots just took her in a different direction. Look at, she has no mouth in that picture. Woo, she's got a big one now. "Those," said Wilfred, pointing to the boots, "are only for people, who are too bossy." "Make them go away at once," cried little Miss Bossy, stamping her foot. Well, at least she tried to stamp her foot, but the boot wouldn't. "We're out of stamps," chuckled right. Left giggled. "You will do as I say," shouted little Miss Bossy. Now, if you're reading this to a little girl, she can clearly see that this is not a nice person. This is somebody who's out of control. This is somebody you don't want to be. "Ready when you are," said right. "Right away," replied left. "March." And off they set again. Left, right, left, right, left, right. 10 miles. And then they stopped again. Along came Wilfred. "Make these stupid boots go away," shouted little Miss Bossy. "Only if you say the magic word," replied Wilfred. Little Miss Bossy thought and thought and thought again. "Please," she said. And if I were reading this to a little girl, I would point out how long it took little Miss Bossy to realize what that word was. That's how little she thought that. She didn't think that way. She didn't think of others. She thought she was queen of the world and she could just boss everybody. And I would also ask her, little girl, how would you like to be bossed like that? You wouldn't want to be bossed like that, so don't do it to other people. So she said, please. That's better, smiled Wilfred. And he said the wizard word again under his breath from page 304. The boots disappeared as if by magic. Now then, said Wilfred sternly, wagging his finger, stop being bossy, or you know what will happen. The boots will come back. Little Miss Bossy nodded miserably. Very well, smiled Wilfred, and went. And do you know something? From then on, little Miss Bossy was a changed person. Not bossy at all. And you know why, don't you? You know what she's afraid of? Bossy boots. But also, look, everybody's happy and having a good time together. And isn't that better? So, I know it's weird that I chose to do this, but it's Father's Day. And I wanted to make a tribute to my father and also share with you guys one of the books that he read to me when I was little and the types of lessons he taught me. And I am so grateful that he didn't say, you're amazing, you can do anything, everything you do is wonderful. It was very like this, don't do this and don't be like this. Don't be a little Miss Bossy. Don't be a little Miss Naughty. Don't be all the things from the Mr. Men books and the Little Miss books. Don't be lazy. Don't be grumpy. It's sort of like, am I talking about the dwarves? But yeah, all those the character. I'm so grateful to him. And I think it's the type of teaching that really needs to come from a father. There's just something about it. And there's no replacement. You can't say, oh, he has to be, the mother can be the mother and the father. Oh, I had to be the mother and the father in the situation. No, you can't. It's impossible. It's just something special and different and irreplaceable about a father. In high time, we truly celebrated them, acknowledged them for how wonderful they are and for how extremely important they are. I'm so thankful that I had the father I had, and he taught me the things that he taught me. And I still think of all of those things just about every day. I definitely wouldn't be who I am without that. So today's a tribute to him and to all of you out there. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. So on that note, thank you for humoring me and sharing this with me. And have a happy Father's Day. Protect your peace. Feed your soul. I love you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.